Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game. You guessed it, we're back at our Ikoria Lair of Behemoths limited guide. Today we're playing Boros Cycle, one of the strongest archetype synergies within Ikoria Limited. So, as always, we're going to take a look at our viable cards. We're going to take a look at the pick priority within them, and then we're going to talk about what the deck's supposed to do and how to build an efficient deck. If you find any value within this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, as it would really help spread it throughout the interwebs. If this is the first limited guide within the series that you found, I really recommend that you go ahead and watch our intro video at the very least, work your way through there. But again, start with that intro video just so you get an idea of what's going on here. If you refuse, I will break down how the cheat sheets work though. Taking down my webcam here, you'll see it says bombs. Those are some bombs that are going to dictate whether you try to build this archetype if you get them in your opening pack or two. So first we have our bombs, then right above my head you'll see high priority picks, and then we have a planeswalker symbol with the most important cards. These are cards that the deck revolves around, and it absolutely needs to be successful. Moving on from that, we have our low priority picks, and then finally we have our fill deck / lowest priority picks. To the left of the cards you will see some notes along with my information. I am doing daily uploads on YouTube for over a year now, over 400 uploads in less than 365 days. You can also find me daily at twitch.tv/HelloGoodGame every morning, 6 a.m. PST. We're going to talk about what the deck does a little bit later, but before we do, we're going to get into the individual cards themselves. So let's get into Magic Arena and look at our common cards primarily. So we have Draenith Healer for 2. Whenever you cycle another card, you gain 1 life. It also has cycling for 1, which is very powerful in the deck. And it's a 2/2 for 2, so base stats are not that bad. Snare Tactician for 3. This is a 2/3, so a decent defender. And whenever you cycle a card, tap target creature and opponent controls. Tapping creatures is very, very powerful in this archetype, you guys. Draenith Stinger for 2. It's a 2/2, so base stats again are pretty decent. Whenever you cycle another card, Draenith Stinger deals 1 damage to each opponent, and it has cycling for 1 as well. Oof. So you'll see just how nice cycling is going to work into this deck here in a second. Prickly Marmoset for 3. It's a 2/3 with first strike. Whenever you cycle a card, Prickly Marmoset gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So this is a pumpable first strike creature. That is incredibly powerful in limited, you guys. You can easily cycle to pump this up to a 4/3 first strike. That is hefty, and if you need to, it can go to a 6/3 first strike. That's disgusting. Moving on to our uncommons. We have Flourishing Fox. This is a 1/1 for 1. Whenever you cycle another card, put a 1/1 counter on Flourishing Fox, and it cycles for 1 again. So really, really nice synergy within the deck. Valiant Rescuer for 2. It's a 3/1, so a nice aggro attacker. Whenever you cycle another card for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, and it has cycling for 2. So a little bit more expensive, but it does a little bit more, right? Splendor Mare for 3. It's a 3/3, so base stats very good. With lifelink, awesome. Cycling for 2, pretty cool. When you cycle Splendor Mare, put a lifelink counter on target creature you control. That's pretty decent, right? Reptilian Reflection for 3 is an enchantment, our first red uncommon. Whenever you cycle a card, you may have Reptilian Reflection become a 4/5 dinosaur creature with trample and haste in addition to its other types until end of turn. That's ridiculous, right? That's very, very cool. Trample and haste? Ugh. We also have a Rooting Moloch for 5. When Rooting Moloch enters the battlefield, exile target card with cycling ability from your graveyard. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card, and Rooting Moloch cycles for 2. So that's pretty groovy. Moving on, we have Savai Thundermane, one of the best cards in the archetype. For 2, it's a 3/2, so very good base stats. Whenever you cycle a card, you may pay 2. When you do, Savai Thundermane deals 2 damage to target creature, and you gain 2 life. This is just like a great form of removal, right? We also have Zenith Flare, another form of removal for 4. It's an instant. Zenith Flare deals X damage to any target, and you gain X life, where X is the number of cards with cycling ability in your graveyard. So if you can make a cycling deck and stack Zenith Flares, oh my gosh, you're doing quite well. And then again, we talked about our bombs of the set. Club Warden for 4. You can mutate it also for 4. It has a lifelink. It's a 3/5. Whenever this creature mutates, create 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. We also have Godzilla Doom Inevitable or Yadaro Wandering Monster. This guy costs 7. He's an 8/8 with trample and haste. However, he is cycling for 2. And when you cycle Yadaro Wandering Monster, shuffle it into your library from your graveyard. If you've cycled a card named Yadaro Wandering Monster 4 or more times this game, put it into the battlefield from your graveyard instead. So this is unlikely because you're only running 1 copy of it. However, it is still a really cool card to use within the deck. Just has great synergy, and who wouldn't want to pick this rare, right? So that is our deck list. Let's talk a little bit about our pick order and the strategy with building this deck. So as I mentioned earlier, we do have our cheat sheet to demonstrate our most optimal pick order. We see that the cards with our Planeswalker symbol on it are the most important. So we're talking Draenith Stinger, our Prickly Marmoset, and our Zenith Flare. These cards do so much damage to your opponent throughout the length of a game, right? Especially with all the cycling that you're going to put into it. We also have Snare Tactician, taps your opponent's big bad creatures, right? And then Sabai Thundermane is going to be able to deal damage and remove your opponent's creatures while granting you a little bit of life gain, right? So these are the main parts of the deck. Get these, stack as many copies of these as you can, and then move on to your lower priority picks, right? Whenever you can't pick one of these cards, try to pick one of these cards. If you cannot, then you will go after, obviously we have our Draenith Healer and our Banter Sword there as an example. However, you can pick off-color cards that still cycle for 1 or 2 colorless mana. Obviously, if you can't pick any of your low priority picks, like your Flourishing Fox, your Valiant Rescuer, which are still very good, right? Then you're going to take any card that cycles for 1 colorless mana. If you don't have that option, you're picking any card that cycles for 2 colorless mana, right? So that's your pick priority. We're only running 15 to 16 lands because we're cycling. It means that the chances that we draw a land with our cycle are relatively high. So that's why we're running a limited amount of lands. We use cycling to trigger creature abilities, right? Whenever we're cycling, we're triggering our Draenith Stinger, we're triggering our Sabai Thundermane, our Snare Tactician, our Marmoset, right? So we're using the cycling trigger, maybe instant speed, maybe before their attack phase, right? Depending on the situation, maybe before our attack phase even, right? So you want to use cycling as an instant ability for the most part to trigger your creatures. Again, that's basically it, you guys. That's most of it. Make sure that you're tapping his big creatures so he can't smash you because we have limited defenses here. And make sure you prioritize what removal you have. Remember your bread archetype: bombs, removal, evasion, aggro, dirt. And you should have a wonderful time drafting with Boros Cycle in Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths. A couple reminders before we go. I'm live on Twitch every single day, 6 a.m. PST. You can check us out there. I'd love to have your company. And we do daily YouTube video uploads at Hello Good Game. More importantly than both of those things, though, join our Discord, link in the description below so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming community events. And if this is your first Ikoria Lair of Behemoths limited cheat sheet video, be sure to check out the description for all of our other Ikoria Lair of Behemoths limited guides. So with that all being said, thanks for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you who continue to spend your time and attention here with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you all tomorrow. If you liked today's video, be sure to check out some of our other content. We built playlists for our guides for beginners, and then we also have our greatest hits, which is a collection of our most popular videos. You can also subscribe if you're interested in winning up to 500,000 gems. So do that, tap that like button, send this out to a friend who you think might be interested in it as well, and have a great day.